Draymond, while we're talking about Twitter, you supported women. You were talking about women's empowerment. You had some ideas that you put out there for how they can increase the money coming in for their business, for the leagues, for the WNBA versus the NBA. What kind of feedback did you get from female athletes about that?
I got some good feedback from female athletes. And I look forward to trying to help that in any way I can, because I think, like I said in my tweets, so many times, a lot. And I mean, maybe it's always been that way, but with social media, you just see more. And so I've seen so many complaints as of recent of women talking about the pay gap in between what we make and what they make. And I feel where they're coming from. Like, I know what I put in to this to be great. They put the same time in that we put in. So I understand what they're saying. But I'm also, and I was hoping people didn't take it the wrong way. Obviously, some people did, whatever. If you can't read what I said and understand, that's your personal business. But, I'm really tired of seeing them complain about the lack of pay because they're doing themselves a disservice by just complaining, and
they're not just complaining.
Huh?
They're not just complaining, really.
But they are, because they're not laying out steps that they can take to change that. And so it's coming off as a complaint because the people that can change it, they're just going to continue to say, well, the revenue isn't there. The revenue isn't there. So if you don't bring in the revenue, we can't up your pay. They're going to keep using that. But the reality is, as true as that is, it's an excuse, because everyone says we support women. We support women empowerment. We support women in the workplace. We do this for women. We do X for women, blah, blah, blah. And everyone uses it to their advantage. Yet these women are not using these people that are saying those very things to their advantage. So then it just becomes a complaint that falls on deaf ears because they're going to use the same excuse of the revenue isn't there. Well, how about all of these people that are running these big time companies with these huge marketing dollars, these huge marketing budgets, put that money towards telling the story of Diana Taurasi. Like I said on Twitter, we know the story of LeBron James. We've heard it a million times. Do you think those stories don't help the connection between a fan and understanding that player? It does, but no one puts the money towards the marketing of women. So as great as Diana Taurasi is, you don't know her story because these companies don't put money towards marketing women. So then if they don't put money towards marketing women, the revenue never grows and it falls on deaf ears and it comes off as a complaint because no one's going to act on it. So if no one acts on it, and you keep saying the same thing over and over, it's going to come off as a complaint, as opposed to holding these people accountable that say, we support women. Women empowerment this. We're doing all of these things for Women Empowerment Month, but they don't put their money behind it. They put their mouths up, but they don't put their money behind it. So it comes off as a complaint, and you're taking me saying it comes off as a complaint in a negative way, as if I'm saying, stop complaining. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they're going to keep saying the same thing. If you keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, you're going to sound like you're complaining. When in fact, take that complaint and call out these people that say we support women empowerment. Why are they not putting this money towards growing this revenue and growing this business if you support women empowerment so much?
No, I think women are calling out the same thing you are. And I understand, I do understand the spirit in which you're speaking. Women have been saying this too. It's like, it's not the people with the money to tell these kind of stories, like to tell the story of DT. If ESPN wants to do that, they need to value women athletes more. It's kind of like, right? Yes, I know you agree with that. So it's putting your money where your mouth is, because you're right. It's a whole lot of talk, but it's the businesses are saying, the businesses, the media coverage, the gatekeepers here are like, well, we don't value women in the same way. So that's not a women's problem of complaints.
And what I'm saying to these women is stop allowing them to do that. Call these people out.
They have
call them out specifically.
Have been for years.
Call them out specifically. Hey, this company say they support women empowerment, yet you have not put a single penny towards the WNBA. You have not put a single penny towards these women athletes, but yet plastered all over your website is women empowerment. Call these people out specifically. Make them react to what you're saying. If you call these people out and specifically, they have to react what you're saying, as opposed to just allowing them to plaster women empowerment all over their website. You walk into the building, it's a women empowerment decal all over the wall, and they haven't put a single penny towards anything that is helping drive that narrative. Stop allowing them to use that. And so when I say complaint, I say that in this from the standpoint of you keep saying the same thing. These people are just laying behind the weeds while you go out and say, man, our salaries aren't high enough. You're allowing these people to lay behind the weeds but they're using you by saying, hey, women empowerment this, use them back. That's what I'm saying. And be very specific in what you're asking for. Let's not continue to toss out this battle cry. Let's be specific in what we're asking for. And then let's see them turn us down, if that's the case. If we're specific in what we're asking for and who we're asking for it from, well then let's see them publicly turn us down. You got to turn the fire up. You got to turn the gas up on these people. And right now, just saying we're not paid enough isn't enough, because we've now been saying that for so long for these women. It's not enough. So at what point are we going to get specific in our ask of these people that can help grow this game? I'm a huge fan of women's basketball. I learned so much from watching their game. And so as someone who loved the game of basketball, I love that. I don't understand how other people don't. But the reality is, it goes back to what I've said from the very beginning. People don't understand basketball. People think they understand basketball because you can watch somebody score 30 points and say, man, that guy had a good game. That don't mean you understand basketball, which is why people don't love the WNBA, because you have to understand basketball to appreciate it. And people don't have the knowledge of basketball that they do. So the women's game is very underappreciated. And if we're going to continue to just throw out the same battle cry of we're not paid enough and not be so specific in who we're asking and what we're asking for, they're just going to continue to say the revenue isn't there. We can't raise salaries. The revenue isn't there. So that's just how I feel. Like I said, I'm open to help in any way that I can. But that's just my feelings on it.
No, I got it. Talking about this, allyship, these conversations help. And then it helps women get more leverage to ask for what they want and put people's feet to the fire.
100%. And that's what has to happen in order to change what they want to be. I would love to see a change. But you got to call on people and you got to call on these companies. And until that's done, they're going to sit behind the same excuse.
Draymond, didn't you have some women ballers in your family?
Yeah, my aunt was pretty good. She was really good. I remember when the Detroit Shock first came in, and she was, at that point, she had been overseas for so many years, and she was trying out for the Detroit Shock. But my aunt was really good in that Babers. And to understand that if this battle cry is focused, that could have possibly changed like the outlook of my family if women were compensated the way they should be compensated, because my aunt would have been in a completely different financial position, which would have changed our whole family outlook. So, when I speak on this, when I think I get very passionate about it, and like I said, I hope it doesn't come off as if I'm bashing the women, because I'm out here. I want to see and help this change as much as I can. If not, I would have never tweeted about it. I would, because the reality is everything I tweeted can be twisted and taken the wrong way. So I wouldn't even put myself in harm's way if I didn't care about it. I would just stay silent just like everybody else do. I mean, silence doesn't get you in trouble at all, you know, so I would have just kept my mouth shut. But, you know, if me saying what the things that I say is going to help them in the long run, and that means someone gets mad because they don't quite understand what I'm saying now, I can take that heat, you know, but, you know, I'm an ally for them. And I want to help their situation because like I said, I understand what I put into this game on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, and they put the same thing in. You know, the reality is it pays off for me. It doesn't quite pay off the way it should for them, and it's not right. You know, but like I said, I am involved in a lot of business off the court, and I do understand that if revenue isn't X, you can't really get to Z, you know? But so, you know, my thing to them is let's not overlook X and try to get to Z. Let's force people's hand on X. That's going to help us get to Z. And so that's just my feelings on it. But I'm going to roll. Y'all have a great Wednesday. Kerith, thank you for your question. Thank you for the little back and forth. That's incredible. I'm always down to have those conversations. I think they're super dope. I think they're helpful. I think, you know, in 10 years when we see these women getting paid, you know, it takes time to grow. You know, this thing isn't going to happen tomorrow. You know, in 10 years, we see these women getting paid, you know, closer to what they should be making. We'll all feel good about it. But, you know, it's going to take some time. But these conversations need to be had. And, you know, I would hope people don't continue to stay quiet on it because the longer we stay quiet, it's just as big as part of the issue as those that don't step up, you know. And so, you know, I'm really pulling for this. Y'all have a great Wednesday.
Great work. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, I'll have Coach here shortly. That may be it since we had a 20-minute session right there, but I'll have Coach in just a second.